skinny.
Good with 3?
No, if we're making a motion.
Oh, okay.
We can, but you count, because you can vote,
I
so.
could- Oh, that's true. So
So
we
we're
are,
at a quorum now.
we are at a quorum. Okay. But if, West Side Pizza? You're online?
Yep, and amenities, that's pretty much it, right?
It doesn't work. Share to your page, share to.
Well, it's hard to speed when you're on a tractor.
Yes, it is.
Jared saw Josh on the way over here, and he's on a tractor going, "Just a minute."
Oh.
I'll be there in a second. From the looks of things, I think he was probably working on the arena out here, so.
Oh, really?
From where he was coming from, that's just my guess, but.
Well, whenever you're ready, I can't get it to work
Okay.
on Facebook right now, so I'm not sure why. Live.
Hey, Rob, thank you for this.
Oh, yeah.
I was gonna go that night, and then I don't even remember what happened, but I couldn't go.
Oh, okay.
I called him or emailed him that day and told him I was. But it looked like really interesting. Did you like it?
Yeah, it was pretty good. I learned a lot of stuff. Took a lot of notes, but
Yeah, I had some questions about it. Did you guys talk about it last time?
not a lot. I just kind of went over what I had learned and then passed those out. That was something the speaker was actually going to pass those out to everybody and forgot. And so I was just talking to him after the meeting and he's like, oh no. And so he handed me a stack.
Gave
So,
you? Good.
Nice. All right. Well,
Things on.
who's totally?
What's that?
Totally awesome.
Oh, that's Dan. Is
Dan
that-
is totally awesome.
I agreed with that. man.
I love that he did that. Nice move, Dan.
Thank you.
All right, now if you can just get the Denver Bronco offense to put a game away this weekend, then you'll be a step above totally awesome.
What's
Yes.
more than totally awesome?
I don't know. Epic. I don't know. All right, Rob, you want to do a pledge?
Sure.
You want to do a moment of silence?
Sure.
Well, let's get started. We'll start with a pledge of allegiance by Commissioner Ortega and a moment of silence invocation by Commissioner Faulkner. We'll go from there.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Our dear Heavenly Father, we're very grateful to be here this night, grateful for this beautiful city that we live in and for so many wonderful people here. We're grateful for those who serve in the city and also serve our country to help us keep the freedoms that we have and enjoy. Please help us this night to make wise decisions and always keep in mind the best interest for all the residents in the city. We love thee and we're grateful for all the blessings we have, and we say these things in the name of thy Son, Jesus Christ, amen.
Amen. Thank you. I don't think my mic's turned off. There, that's better. Well, okay.
It did turn green for a minute.
Yeah, turning green and off. Oh, well. I don't see anything.
Yeah, it just keeps going on.
Well, I'll just have to talk really loud.
Here, let's, you give me one of these.
Oh, that one works. Huh, that one's not working. Okay, well, you know what I'll do is, since we're,
You can just set this by here.
we'll try that. Oh, wow, that's pretty potent. All right, so, hey, you know what, since we're all familiar with the opening statement, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna acknowledge the opening statement. You've all heard me read it before, if that's okay, and then I'll ask if you've had any ex parte.
I have not.
No, I haven't.
Okay, good. I might be.
Do that.
Can you, is it one?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna turn it down.
Does it say a number on there?
I don't know. Yeah, it does. It says channel 4. Or whatever that's. There we go.
Yeah, yours is working now, let's turn
All
it.
right. Okay. Away with that. Okay. Great. And I had none as well. So we'll go from there. No public here. I don't see any public online. If there is any public online, please raise your hand. This is time for public comments for any items not on the agenda. Okay. And we'll go on then. Approval of the minutes for September 11th, 2025.
I wasn't here, so I just looked for spell check and I didn't see anything that looked good. I do
Okay.
have a question, though. Is that okay if I just?
Oh, yeah,
It doesn't
absolutely.
change the minutes, but I just have a question.
Huh.
On the technical report review, it
Okay.
says that Jason Green's property is current use is 18.5 and RE20.
Yeah.
So has part of it been rezoned?
No, it's currently zoned on the current.
Because the current land use map shouldn't have any 18.5 on it.
Did.
Okay. Because we put that in
Yeah.
on the general plan update.
You're right, but this one had it,
Okay,
so,
it was just a little confusing.
yeah, I could see how that was confusing. I was confused when I looked it up, so, but that's what he had.
Okay. I just wondered if someone had come in and rezoned part of it, but that would have.
I don't see how that would have happened, but that's what I saw, and I
Okay.
thought that was unusual too, Shauna, so.
Okay,
Okay,
otherwise it looked good to me.
all right. I will entertain a motion.
But, real quick,
Sorry.
I just wondered if we should add Jed's last name in section 8 there.
Oh,
Instead of just Jed?
Yeah, it says Jed, I didn't know who Jed was. I imagine it's Jed DeFreeze.
yep,
And
On number 8, where we're talking about,
it says Jed.
it's the final on
oh, it does say it
DeVries.
at the top, Jed DeFreeze, so never mind.
Well, it actually just says final on DeVries property, so,
I think it'd be good at least on one of those have his name there, so, his last name.
Oh, right after the address, it says Jed.
oh, you're right,
Oh.
that's where it says it.
So, never mind, I think we're good.
Okay. Then I will entertain a motion.
Motion to approve the minutes from September 11th, 2025.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Okay, moving right along. Technical review report, there was no technical review that I was aware of. So, at least I wasn't there this Tuesday. So, all right, discussion motion for existing commercial site plan of West Side Pizza's sign located at 3639 West, 2600 North. I-
There's a Mr. Bingham, who, if you have questions, he's on.
Okay, okay, perfect. There's a sign up there right now, isn't there?
They're just changing.
I think they're rebranding.
Just rebranding is all? Okay.
Was
Is-
it going on the building or is this out front? Out.
It's out front above, I think one of the pictures shows it out front there with cars in front.
Brent just thought it would be best if it came here first.
Right. What about illumination? Is it backlit? Doesn't look like it. From the details that I see. It doesn't say anything about the sign being.
Well, it says illuminated pan channel display.
Where does it say that? I missed that.
It's on this page, and it's right here.
Aha!
Illumination.
It does, illumination white LEDs.
Flush to well.
Okay, now I'm seeing it. You got conduit coming out.
I mean, normally I would say, can you tone it down at night when everything's closed, but Kent's is so bright, what's the point?
Yeah.
Kind of hard to pick on these guys.
Right.
And speaking with the neighbors across the street, like, they've always said, like, you know, if you add a little bit more light, it doesn't make a difference. It's
Yeah.
still bright.
Yeah,
They had other concerns, and Dan addressed those, so I don't think they have a problem.
okay. It's good to know.
Okay,
So for me, I'm okay with it, but
right? And this is, we are approving, it's administrative. I really don't have anything further on this, it seemed pretty straightforward. Like I said, it meshed, it went with what was already there, so then I will entertain a motion.
I will move to approve the existing commercial site plan for West Side's Pizza sign.
Okay,
I'll second.
motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Okay. Legislative items. Just a discussion for amenities for residential overlays. Anybody had any input on that? They want to talk about, or should we wait and talk about this as a full commission?
I mean, I have a few thoughts, but we can wait till the whole commission's here.
What
so-
are your thoughts, first off?
So
Just spitball ideas right now, I think, is the,
I don't think we should totally get rid of parks, but I understand we don't need little teeny parks everywhere, but I think at the minimum, they need a pavilion.
and maybe that's what we can put, because, I don't know, I found this report it was partnered with the association called the Utah Foundation and Wasatch Front Regional Council about open space and healthy communities. I'll send it to you guys.
I would love to read that.
And it's an interesting read, and, because I was just bouncing it off by some of my people I work with, like, what are some options that we can do? I mean, and maybe, you know, I was thinking like having some verbiage in the ordinance said, open space includes but not limited to parks, pavilions, you know, and listing some of them just to give them some ideas.
Tammy suggested today a pickleball court that was covered,
Oh, that
not
would-
enclosed, but covered,
Covered? Yeah,
which
yeah.
I think would be really nice.
yeah.
Because you don't really do a lob in pickleball, right?
Yeah, I was, you know, I mean, like, you know, I've been talking about the recreation center, a community or recreation center. I mean, just to give them an option, if they say, hey, you know, we'd be happy to give land for you guys to do that.
Yeah.
Things like that, or, and, you know, an equestrian arena. The article does suggest like trails, parkways, equestrian trails, things like that.
Well, I know Rachel has really wanted to have a park with a loop on it that would include things for special needs or adaptive, I think they call it.
Tactile, really.
Yes.
There, yeah, I think it's called high sensory equipment. I did a playground like that. It's really expensive,
Yeah.
and we did it in downtown Ogden for Ogden City Schools, and we enclosed it. It was a building. 'Cause
Oh, really?
We just wanted to protect it. It's
Yeah.
pretty pricey, and it can get damaged because it's very you know,
Okay.
because they want to touch, and that was the whole thing about it is. So, I mean, no, I think that's
Yeah.
great, but
And I don't know if
do
it would
that.
have, I mean, maybe we could look at other options that aren't so expensive that-
Right.
where they're sensory, but they would still be adaptive for, maybe someone in a wheelchair could still go around the loop and do
Sure.
things, you know? But either way, even to have something along the way, even that, you know, a mainstream child could still have fun going around the circuit. I don't know, instead of just a walking trail, I suppose, and a open space, like, let's put some things on it.
Right. Yeah, and that's what I'm trying to get at is it feels like developers like, well, what do you want? And we're like,
Feels like an adaptive course is something that the ramp grant money would be
yeah,
really
I
suited
think
to.
that would be, So that might be something to put in there, and then, okay, what's
We
that?
still,
How-
you know, still to get the property and the space for it, but then we apply for a ramp grant to put it on there, so.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, I love it. Any other ideas while we're spitballing?
Mine's the deeper discussion, I think.
Okay.
I kind of like the idea of having like little parks everywhere. It's kind of nice. Me and my son were driving around looking for a place just to play with some grass. And,
Yeah,
you know, with all the practices going on, but we drove around and found a place eventually, and I kind of like that. But what I don't like is the idea of the city having to take care of 100 little parks everywhere.
that's what Dan doesn't like.
Yeah. And the way that we've solved that in other cities was to have an HOA, you know, perpetual and take care of it. And I don't know really the history here. I've taken it in context that
Sure.
it's not wanted here. And so that's, I don't know, maybe we could have a discussion about like what we want to do with HOAs or.
Well, and I don't think we need like a bunch of, you know, half-acre park in every subdivision, but also there still aren't enough small parks.
No, pocket parks that have like a pavilion and maybe a barbecue.
So maybe you make it not big enough to put soccer fields on, but still big enough for kids to go play during the day,
You know, a group could have an activity there and have a picnic or,
Play catch with your son or
yeah,
whatever.
Yeah,
exactly.
like you're saying, just a pavilion and a patch of grass. It
Yeah.
was, it's like a family party. And then if that one's occupied, you go to another one, and I kind of like
Yeah.
that.
And
Dog
maybe we're
park.
just careful about how many of those we do, because we're not trying to
Right.
burden down. But I do think our city needs more smaller area for that.
Well, that's something to do, and I think having it listed might just give you some more ideas. I like, a dog park was one that, you know, came up in discussions that I've had, you know, and maybe that's not something we want to consider right now.
So I totally love the idea, but I always wonder, like, do the dogs get along? Like, is it really a
Not
good
my
idea?
dogs. My
Or do
dogs
they
would not
just
get
go over
along.
there and fight? Like, I just don't know.
But I mean, this is a different thing. I take the front runner from Salt Lake to Ogden most days, and they have dog parks all along that line. Then there's just small little, you know, turf and little things for them to jump on, and they seem to be getting along.
Yeah.
But
On Judge Judy, there's always a lawsuit over the dog park.
it's Judy. I love it. Anyway, if you guys are okay with it, I'll send you this document, and you can take
I
a
would love
look
to
at
read
it.
through it, yeah.
And if I find anything more, I'll let you know.
So our aim here, our goal is to have kind of a list of, not limited to, but
Yeah.
here's some ideas.
And that's how I was thinking it would be phrased is, you know, amenities include but are not limited to, list them. And, you know, I mean, still gives them an unlimited.
They could still come in and propose something.
Sure, different, and it's not gonna be a problem.
And maybe times change and people don't want pickleball anymore, and there's a new phase, you know, and we could say, let's do some of that, so. yeah.
Gaga ball,
I like Gaga Ball, but
my son
My son loves volleyball.
My son dislocated his finger.
Oh, really?
Really bad. Right before his mission too, so that's
I
always
played it with
timely.
youth group, all these young kids,
Yeah.
and I just want you to know I won.
At high school work.
It was, I just stood back and let him eliminate everybody.
And Tammy, you're right, I mean, those pickleball courts, we have 4, I think. And they're
Always busy.
they're always full.
It looked like, I drove past the other day and it looked like someone was actually doing like lessons over there or something. Me too.
Totally, that'd be something cool to offer, maybe, you know, hey, pickleball class. You know, learn how
I
to
mean,
play.
I'm sure Collet has plenty to do, but
Yeah.
running a little tournament over there would be a nice thing
Don't
for
we
the
do one for
city.
the 4th? We've done it in the past, a pickleball tournament. I know that much.
Good.
I mean, really pie in the sky is a golf course. But, you know, maybe someday, you know, but I don't know if that makes the list on this
It's
one.
just so much land.
It is so much land and so much water and so much maintenance, you know, and it is.
Feels like that just needs to be a private enterprise.
We need a rec center before we need a golf.
I agree.
We do. But Be nice to have it closer.
Yes, it would.
I'm complaining about driving 10 minutes to a golf course. It's just because I wait till the last possible moment to go. Those are all good ideas. I mean, Tammy, you got a list, and maybe next commission we can pull up the ordinance and kind of figure out where we want to put it and what we want listed. Okay? All right. Very good. Okay, report from city council on
It was
September
Rob,
18th.
he helped me out.
Ah, thanks for going, Rob. I got that, was it an email? I got that email at like 7 o'clock. I mean, didn't get it, but I read it.
Oh, gotcha.
Uh,
It's okay. Rob answered me. He saved my
Okay,
bacon.
all right.
All right, so I was there. They had a Western Weaver CTC award that went to a Plain City resident. I can't remember what a CTC is, but that was Ryan and Julie Evans. They're Pete and Claire McGreeve's daughter is Julie. Anyway.
Okay.
Did you say McGreeve?
Grieve.
Mm.
Oh, Grieve.
Yeah.
Oh, was it Aaron?
Julie Grieve.
Oh,
It was Julie Grieve. She's Julie and Ryan Evans now.
okay,
They live
gotcha.
right next door, and they put together a big event for a lot of special needs youth
Oh,
during the summer, and it was really cool. I went to it, and so did Rachel. So they got an award for putting that together. It was really cool what they did. The final acceptance for the Fremont Meadows, that was approved. And then our ordinance to rezone the Anderson property was approved. And then the zoning ordinance regarding the definition of a cul-de-sac, that got approved.
oh, great.
That we submitted to 'em.
Did they have any comments about changing that definition?
No, they kind of looked it over. There wasn't a lot of discussion at all.
Yeah, I love it.
Okay.
I think it's so much
Liked it.
more clear that way.
Yep. And then that was it.
Okay.
That's the meeting your daughter should have gone to.
I know. I'll tell her that. I don't think any of them need to go to anymore unless they're taking a college class, so
Oh, is that right?
they're all out of high school now. All right. Commission comments. Shauna?
Nothing from me.
Rob?
So I figured out, I was confused last week because I thought that this Utah Land Use Institute, that's on the 21st and 22nd. October, yeah, next month. And so I plan on going that one day that you guys, will you go on the Tuesday, the 21st? Is that when you,
22nd?
oh, the 22nd? That's a Wednesday?
Yeah, because the first day is just like, starts at noon and
Okay.
Does it?
it's just kind of a talk.
Is that the one in Salt Lake?
Yeah. It's down
Okay.
off
Sandy, right?
92nd.
Okay,
Doesn't have the address here, but, oh,
cool. I will-
anyway. But yeah, I want to attend that with you guys. So you two are going?
Yeah.
Is that what you're planning? So that Wednesday is when you're going?
Yep.
So do you want me to, well, I can tell Diane that the three of us.
Yeah.
I don't know who else.
I haven't seen any responses
I
from
thought
anybody
Blake
else.
might have
No,
commented.
he said he'd been to another.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
That was his
that's probably-
comment.
Been there, done that. Okay, that's what he
So I
was.
didn't know if Josh and Dustin, but I'll reach out to him and
Okay.
we still have a little bit more time, but.
I was saying last time, the first and second, and that's a different conference. That's the the Utah League of Cities and Towns. They have something going on the first and second, yeah. And I looked at that, that's pretty expensive, and I don't know that I'm gonna go to that one, but,
But if you think it'd be beneficial, you should go.
yeah.
There's money in the budget, I'm sure.
Okay, I'll take a look at it again to see what kind of they're going over, but this looked more interesting to me, this one, so. Put me down for this one, I'll take a look at that first and second, but, I think that's all I had for today.
Can I change my mind?
Okay.
So Rob, I think, brought this to you guys last
He
meeting.
did.
And I just had a couple of questions on it, and I apologize if you've already talked about them.
No,
Is our road width 32 feet?
It's not.
So are we going to change it?
I think we're gonna have to, Dan, I think, commented about that last time. Dan, are you on?
I think you won't answer unless you
Yes.
say totally awesome.
You have to call.
Dan, is it, this thing that Rob got from the ULCT, well, it doesn't, I don't know if it's
It
suggesting,
says it's a state standard.
or if this is, yeah, and it says standard road width is 32 feet in residential areas with limited exceptions.
Yes, that is, and we are updating the public works standards.
Okay,
I did speak with our engineer on that and told him that let's make sure that we comply with them standards of the 32 feet. And if it's a collector or arterial, then that would be the exception on that.
And are those the ones that have to be 60?
Well, that 60 would be our right of way, and that's curb gutter, park strip, and sidewalk.
Okay,
So then we'd go out to the 60 or the 66. The 32 feet, that is just the asphalt area.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. Because it just seems so narrow, but then I also wondered if it would help with some of the speeding in the city. Like
Well,
maybe they're too wide and it looks like a racetrack, you know?
Did you guys happen to make it over to the Pappy Estates when I had that striped and then put the shoulder lines on there?
I have
And-
not, are you talking about, maybe I didn't know that was called Pappy Estates, but you're talking about, I think it's 3400 or something that goes through?
Yes, that's
The one that
Pappy.
the residents came and talked about?
Huh?
Okay.
Yeah, I did have the striping put in there and then the shoulders, and the residents seem to be pretty happy with that. I have not heard anything back about if cars are still speeding through there or not, but like I said, it gives you that appearance that it's a narrower road, and and then it kind of gives a safe zone for the residents that do live there to, if they park out on the curb, they're behind the white line.
Do you know if there was much of a blast for the patrol to write some tickets along there?
I don't know. I don't.
Okay.
Yeah, I try to stay clear of Weaver County. No.
I don't blame you. So then my other thing is I was wondering about, I know there was some discussion about approving preliminary, but that's not how our code reads. So are we going to change it to allow preliminary, or we just made it an exception one time?
where does it say that? I missed that on that.
Well, it just says, it really doesn't talk about
On plan
preliminary
review?
in here, but
Oh.
we did it. We allowed a preliminary to be approved.
Yeah, we did, and there was a reason why we did it. I cannot remember exactly why. That was a while,
I thought it was Sage Creek, actually.
was it?
Well, you didn't call it preliminary, you called it.
No.
That was a first review is what
Because
we.
he wanted to call it, he's saying preliminary and final. We said, no, that's not how it's done.
But technically, was it preliminary?
Well,
I think we were
It was the
accepting-
first review.
but you approved the first review.
Yeah.
Normally, we don't approve the first review, so to me, it was preliminary, but
Right.
I think all that means is that we were accepting it as a
As-
application,
Mhm.
as a full application.
but usually we don't do a motion on it.
Yeah, I don't know that we should.
Was there a motion on the agenda? Oh,
There was.
Yeah.
okay. I was just curious
No,
about
that's,
that.
that's a good comment.
Okay,
Okay.
Glenn. Sage Creek did end up calling me today, the developers out there. And I did mention to them that, because they told me that they should have their letter from Pineview within the next week. And I told them that I do believe that they do have to go back through Planning Commission, and that Planning Commission wants to see that letter. And it probably would be a good idea to have Daniel from Pineview go to the Planning Commission and give a thumbs up that
Right.
he's okay. Yes.
Agreed, Dan. Especially since the feedback we got back from Pineview was that they still had some things to get resolved regarding any kind of utilities or houses, pump houses that they were putting in, and they hadn't seen it yet. So
Cause I told him, he says, well, didn't we get final on that approval? And I says, no, you just had preliminary.
Yeah.
And and then when Pine View ended up, chiming in and saying that, no pre-con because, they have
Right.
not seen or anything for the pump house. At that point, that's when we hit the brakes. And, yeah, we want to make sure that Pine View is definitely 100% in favor of, what's being installed, before we move forward with it. So,
And correct me if I'm wrong, Dan, but he can proceed with his work, but he proceeds at a risk.
yes, and I did
Okay.
tell him today, he says, well, right now, all we're doing is just grubbing, and we're bringing in some road base to put on top of the roads. And then that way, because we got rain in the forecast here within this next week, and, yeah, they just don't want to be driving over there and muddy and everything. And they did get part of that irrigation in for Con Wilcox. And I told them, I says, well, at that point, we'll need to see a video and stuff of that irrigation line put in, and to check for rolled gaskets and bellies and stuff, and the alignment of it. But
Okay.
I just told them, I says, just, I can't stop you from, grabbing and grading. It's your property. I says, but anything that you install, just keep in mind that I need to inspect it to approve it.
Right. And you can say, well, you gotta uncover it so I can see it, kind of thing, so.
Yes, and I've done that in the past, and yeah, like you said, they're not happy with that when I do that, but
Oh, I'm sure they're ecstatic.
yeah, I get taken off their Christmas card list and everything.
Oh, man. Well, I'll put you on mine if that makes you feel better.
Well, that's a step up right there.
Anyway, so you should be hearing from Sage Creek once they get everything approved with Pine View. So, because I did.
I think
confirm-
water is a really touchy subject
Oh,
right
yeah.
now, and so
Yeah.
it's got to be solid.
Yep.
But it sounds like you're on it, so that's great. I have one last thing. I heard today that there is a meeting on the 30th for some people within our city boundaries, but Weber County is wanting to sort of force annexation into Plain City. So all those residents will need to go to that meeting and plead their case one way or the other. In the meantime, 2200 North continues to be kind of a sore spot with the residents who live east of the gate. And I was thinking the other day, Dan, is it possible to just put a strip of asphalt down that road that the kids could ride their bikes on?
Well, right now, we're waiting for Scheme subdivision to be approved with Pine View, because they've got it on hold right now because of no availability of the water at this point. So
You're talking about skiing?
yes,
How did they get past us with no water from Pine View?
Yeah, because that's what happened, is because Pine View did, and I kind of chewed on Pine View after the fact, because I said, you should not have given any will serve letter if you don't have availability. I says that because right there, that's what Planning Commission is looking for, is those will serve letters. And that's basically saying you're approving and you will serve. And then all of a sudden you hit the brakes and say that you're at capacity and you can't. And he says, yeah, but we didn't get that study back until after the fact. I'm like, well, this falls back on you guys. And so, yeah, that's on hold because, like I said, the Pine View did approve the plan, but then they got their report back and they're at capacity and they don't have enough, I guess, water for that area. So
That's
and then,
crazy. Isn't that crazy?
what they want to do is have Skeens eat the cost and put in bigger lines.
Mm.
And yeah, and of
Well,
course
it's not even skiing anymore, it's Nielsen, right?
yes, they want them to install bigger lines, and so they have the more flow, so they're not at capacity, and of course they're getting pushback because of the cost of that installing. So but yeah, and then, like I said, that totally, fell back on Pine View. They shouldn't, they should have, I guess, done a little bit more homework before they gave a little serve letter out.
So either way, though, is there a way to put just a strip of asphalt, like a 3 foot wide down that street for the kids to ride their bikes on?
See, and we could, but Weaver County did come in and they've got that road prep for asphalt up to where the Skeens, or where Nelson Homes will end up asphalting, and then the city will pay for the remainder to tie it into, Sunset and, Sunset Meadows. And so, like I said, for temporary, yeah, we could look at putting the path in.
Yeah,
That would-
because, I mean, that's a small portion. It's great. I'm thrilled for them that it's going that far, but the rest of the street, that could take, even though they're putting them in, there's still gonna have to be a lot of prep work done on that road before we can actually improve the road. So,
wanna-
that could be a couple of years, those kids would at least have a path to ride their bikes on.
Yeah, I would want to at least approve that with, Hadley, with Weaver County. Then that way, since it's going to be on that county dirt
And
road,
it's still their road, right? So,
yeah, it's
it-
still there until they do annex that in.
yeah. Anyway,
but I-
maybe if you just want to think about that and talk to whoever would make a decision on that, I think that would be really helpful for those residents.
Yes, I'd be more happy to look into that.
Okay.
And is it just the county for meeting with those people on 2200, or? You see where I'm going with this? We've got a big chunk of development on Center Street with Nelson Homes is doing. Are they gonna, that gonna be part of it, that they'll want to annex into us?
I don't believe that part is included.
Okay, good.
I think it's a lot of the land between, like, where Brett Molding lives
Okay.
and then over to like Sue Ann Monk's, so all that property in there, I think it's a
Got it.
lot of that.
Just these little pockets.
Down 2200.
Oh, that's
It's also
understandable.
includes like Penny Barns and
Okay.
so some along there, but it doesn't go to the S curve. So that's what I looked at, but Tammy could confirm.
Yeah, and we still have, I mean, they have to come in here and we have to run it through our
I mean, to
process.
me, it's super complicated, like,
Right.
it feels so backwards.
That's what I'm saying, is this a precursor to other things, because I know,
I don't know, I'll just say, I don't think Weber County's making any friends this way. but
no, well, they haven't made friends for a while,
I don't think they really care, so.
doesn't seem like it.
Yeah, I don't think they're,
Anybody on the planning
I think
commission?
that's their goal.
Somebody should. I heard Frower is not running next
Oh, I
time.
don't have the time.
You would be really good at it.
Well, anything else, Tammy?
Yeah, the work meeting with Dave Pitch.
Oh, yes. Okay, and that is what day again?
Well, it would be our next October 9th,
Okay,
but as of right now, we don't have anything on the agenda.
okay.
So I don't know if we can, just kind of approve the minutes and maybe just go into it.
Go straight into a work meeting?
We don't have anything,
I think that's fine.
because then everybody would be here.
So then we could do it at our normal time,
Yeah.
too?
Yeah.
We would close the normal meeting and then go into a
We'll
work.
close the meeting and just go right into a work session.
But I'll let you know if somebody
Okay.
comes on.
That would be the preferred option if there isn't anything.
Then you wouldn't have to come
I
early.
don't think I can come early, so I hope that that will work.
That's hard for me to get here at 6:30, but
So then it would maybe be after.
yeah.
But we'll just,
And you said that's the 9th? Okay.
And
we decided on a time limit when people had to have stuff in to make the agenda, right? I think it was the Friday before.
Friday
The
before.
Friday before, okay, so once that ends, close business, you can say, we don't have anything on the agenda and decide at that point.
usually if it isn't in by Thursday,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so, but, I mean, they've got next week until.
Right.
Friday, technically. But so far I haven't had any, there's not much going on right now, so we should be, even if we had one thing, I think it would be okay. One small, like tonight's with the sign.
Yeah, true, so true, okay. Okay,
All right.
And if it's just the minutes, I don't know that we need to open the meeting just to do that.
think it's got something to do with the open meetings.
It has to
Act.
be part of the official minutes, yeah.
Okay. Well, this meeting's still open, but I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thanks, guys. Hey, that was pretty good.
Sorry, it's me who made it go long. It's always me.
Oh, no. No, that was actually a good conversation, so. Yeah, I worry about that. I worry
Recording
that the
stopped.
county will say, well, now that we've got that, let's go, because my impression is they want to get that off of their plate.